Hey folks, it's Brent with the Downing Group. This episode, we're going to talk about how do property taxes work in South Carolina. So welcome back to the channel. Thought I would come outside. It's early December, and I think it's going to be like 78 degrees today. So here I am out in the sun. Man, it is lovely living here in South Carolina. If you are from out of state, if you're in New York or Pennsylvania, thinking of moving here, come on, let's go. So how do property taxes work in South Carolina? Well, I'm going to cover what happens with residential property taxes. And basically there are two rates, and I get a lot of phone calls from people when they're looking up property online. Why is this property, the tax is so high, and this one isn't, and they're the same kind of value? Well, the main reason for that is in South Carolina, there's two property tax rates that they go by. One is the owner-occupied rate, and then there's the commercial rate. And what they do is if you are not living in that property, which means living in it at least one day during a calendar year, you are going to be taxed on the commercial rate, which is usually about 3 times higher than the owner-occupied rate. So generally speaking, this is a general estimate, don't quote me on this, but I have found that roughly per $100,000 in assessed value, the property taxes are going to run about $700 per year. So if you have a $500,000 house, let's say, your property tax bill will be somewhere in the mid $3,000 range if it's your primary residence. Hope that makes sense. And if it's on the commercial rate, though, they're going to charge like 3 to 3.5 times more than that rate. So that's why the big discrepancy. Now, how can you get it to be your owner-occupied rate? Well, you have to live in it at least one day during that calendar year. The tax bills go from January to December here in South Carolina. And so if you have any other questions about any of that, you can call us or DM us on our Facebook page, email me at my personal email address, or call me on my cell number. Now, when you buy a property in South Carolina, the taxes are prorated at closing. So if you buy it half the way through the year, then you are going to, the seller is going to pay you half of that estimated tax bill, and then you'll be responsible for it when the bill comes out in November. Conversely, if you are a seller, then if you're selling a property, the opposite happens. The big thing to watch there is most contracts that are used in South Carolina they say that they will prorate taxes based on the last tax bill. So if you are selling a property that has been on the commercial rate to an owner-occupied buyer, you need to really have a good agent who knows this stuff really well to save you a bunch of money on this. And I don't have time on this video to get into that. It's probably a 15 or 20 minute explanation at least. So if you have any questions about property taxes, how it works in South Carolina, we'd be glad to help. Otherwise, any real estate needs that you have, give us a call, DM us here at the Downing Group. Have a great week.